I just want to state your name and rank and how many years you served as a police officer.
Yes, my name is Robert Hobbs, Jr. I'm a retired captain with the Easton Police Department, and I had approximately 30 years combined with the Talbot County Sheriff's Office, the Maryland State Police Drug Enforcement Bureau, and Easton Police Department.
How do you approach when first arriving at an unknown scene, for instance, pulling over a car?
Generally now, there's two different scenarios. One, of course, during the daytime or daylight hours, where even though you approach with caution, generally you have backup, it's daylight, you can see movement in the car when you're pulling a car over. And even though you're cautious, you more are attuned to not only what the person's doing in the vehicle, but if it's on a crowded highway, the traffic. At night times, things change. You try to utilize all the light that's available to you, such as a spotlight, your flashlight, and it's very difficult to see movement in the car. You're very, very cautious. You don't just get out of the police car and walk up. A lot of officers will go to the right of the car. Some officers on the approach will attempt to see if the trunk's open, and they stand behind the driver. They don't just walk up and turn to face the driver. They stand to his shoulder or the rear of him, and then at that point they ask for identification or license and registration.
What are some of the possible dangers or fears faced when arriving at a scene with very little details?
That's quite common among all police officers all over the nation, where you may get a call of shots fired with unknown suspects, unknown vehicle description, unknown weapons. It is probably one of the most feared calls I think police go on, because they arrive in the area and they don't know who may or may not have a weapon. They may not know what the problem is, and I think generally speaking that's when a lot of shootings take place, assaults on police officers take place, because there are little to no known facts about what's going on, and in most cases these days people will call 911 and they don't want to be identified.
And our final question is, what do you think can be done to improve the relationship between police and civilians?
Certainly that is a really sad point at this time. In the 30+ years I've had at doing police work, and also 7 years here at the college, I think one of the big things today is to redevelop the trust between you and the citizens that you work for. There seems to be a big distrust of police, but if you think about it, there are a lot of dedicated men and women out there. They have families, they have wives and parents, and they want to go home at night. And I think that by being more active in the community, we used to call it a stop, walk, and talk. Don't just ride by somebody, don't just walk by them, stop, talk to them, find out what's going on, but to get out and make contact with store owners, business people, civilians, children. I think one of the big things that I used to do was I would visit the schools, reconnect with the kids in the schools, colleges, sit down, have lunch with them, talk to them, and let them know that they don't need to be afraid of the police.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.